And there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday tap. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it's not, then welcome back. What we do here is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And we just do it. We jump right into it. And I will show you how you can participate in that as we go along. You can be very involved or just kind of a shadow in the background, and you can get a wonderful release of overwhelm, of tension, sometimes of pain, and of trauma, all the same. So your participation level doesn't determine what kind of outcome that you can have, which is why I really love this technique. If you don't know what it is, don't worry. You can just follow along with me. And the way that you can participate, should you like to, is to just drop in the chat anything that is in your way currently, anything that's stressing you out, that's overwhelming your emotions, any emotion, or something that you would like to have that you don't have. Maybe you're really frustrated. You've had a goal for a really long time and you don't know why you haven't completed it yet. And I will happily incorporate as much as I can and do what I can to help you to feel better by the end of this hour. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. I'm finally feeling good. I still have a little bit of a lingering cough. My daughter is now the one who's actively trying to get over it. So it's been a week, but still a happy week. So I hope that you have also had a happy week. Let me say hi to you guys. Hi, Mama Hutch. Hi, Richard. Oh, thank you so much. I am feeling better. Oh, thank you. I honestly I haven't looked at myself in the mirror at all today. I went to start the live and I was like, I don't know what I look like. I'm on very little sleep right now, but I'm feeling healthy and that like makes me feel good no matter what, right? Um Thank you, Chris. Okay, fears no job. And okay, so fears about not having a job, that makes a lot of sense. And then fear about driving separate or connected with your job somehow. Let me know that. Let's go ahead and get grounded real fast, and then we will continue on with whatever you guys have that you want to tap on today. I don't have any emails of anything to present to the group, so it'll just be whatever you guys have today for us. But first, let's go ahead and get grounded. So go ahead and take a breath. Really let your body, pardon me, I will be clearing my throat. I can't do anything about that. Um, really let your body sag when you breathe out. We're wanting it to be like a sigh of relief. We're trying to signal to our body, this is a time where we're just going to relax and calm down. Let's take another breath. Okay, now I want you to, we're going to list different body parts. I want you to just think about where they are. You don't have to look at them, you don't have to touch them. It's more about just bringing your attention and your focus in a very gentle way back in that moment and into your body. So, right now, I want you to think about where the tops of your ears are in space. Where are the tops of those ears? And how about the tip of your nose? Where's the tip of your nose right now? How about the underside of your chin? Where is that? Can you feel where that is in space right now? And how about your lungs? Where are your lungs? How about your lower spine? All those lower vertebrae. How about the palms of your hands? Where are your palms? And let's do the back of the knees. Focus on where the backs of your knees are right now. And lastly, where are the soles of your feet? The whole bottom of your foot. Try to feel it from the tip of your heel up to the pads of your toes, to the sides of your feet, where that archway is, where it doesn't make a print if you step on it. Okay, let's take a breath. Okay, and if you had your eyes closed, go ahead and open your eyes. I'm going to set an intention for us just real fast. It is my intention that as we are working together and collaborating for this next hour, that we really feel the value of this community that we create, that we're able to get a sense of that it's important that you're here and that it matters that you're here and that you're here looking, hoping, practicing, choosing, but also that you are here receiving support, receiving care, receiving notice. And it is my intention that at the end of this time together, that you get to feel better and that you get to start, if not completely receive, what it is that you came here to get. Okay, let's take one more breath. Okay, and my phone is on buzz, not silent, so I'm gonna fix that real fast. Okay. Let's see. What do you guys have? Okay, releasing a toxic friend. Okay, thank you, Chris. Separate car accident, though not major. Okay, thank you for that. It doesn't have to be major for it to be, for it to spark that place in your brain. So I appreciate you having that distinction and stating that. Doesn't have to be big things, just has to be overwhelming, and our brains will grab onto it in a specific way. Hello from England. Hi, Violet. I am feeling better. Thank you. Okay, patience, acceptance of being a care partner, meeting more losses and responsibilities. That is a big job. Oh, my glasses make you smile. Thank you. They're my favorite pair. I get compliments on them all the time. I got them because they look drawn on. I think it makes me look like a cartoon a little bit. Speaking my truth. Okay. Prioritizing time. And thank you, Cedric, on integrating and focusing on multiple goals. Okay. All right. So focus and vision, speaking my truth, issues. Well, things that come along with being a caretaker. I won't call them issues because it's a big job, and a lot of times doesn't feel it's not even with appreciation. A lot of times it just feels like a lot of give and releasing a toxic friend and fear. Hmm. Okay, let's start on the releasing side of things. Trying to think of how I can we're across the board today, so you get to see a lot of creativity on how to tap and address more than one thing at a time. Let's tap on releasing. I'm not sure I can do this. And you can make that more strong if you want to. I can't do this. I'm not strong enough to do this. I'm not smart enough to do this. I'm too afraid to do this. Whatever fits for you. So whatever you're focusing on, pick one thing and arrange it in that context of, yeah, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm really not sure I can last this long. I'm really not sure I'm the right person for this. I'm not sure I have the qualities necessary. I'm not sure I have the energy, the time, the strength, the whatever it is. I'm not sure I can do this. Okay. So I'll give you a second to get that phrasing right in your mind. And we're going to tap here. We're not going to do the eyes for the 9 gamma, but we're going to tap on the spot for it because I feel like this is a pretty emotionally laden place to start. So even though right now I'm not sure I can do this, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now as I think about this, I'm not sure I can do it. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, what I feel the strongest is I don't think I can do it. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge that this is where I am, even if it's not where I want to be. I admit to myself, this is how I feel. I admit that this feels the most true of anything I could say right now. And I may not have any amount of belief that that could change. And I'm accepting that, not because I'm giving up, but I'm accepting that this is how I feel. I'm allowing myself to acknowledge it, even if it's feeling scary or I'm judging the fact that I feel this way. I allow myself to release this judgment and just give myself permission to feel, whether it's rational or not, whether it's helpful or not. It is how I feel. And right now, I'm allowing that. I'm allowing how I feel. It's valid and it's real and it's here. How I feel. Not sure I can do it. How I'm feeling. How I see things. What I'm currently choosing to do. And even if the way I see things and the way that I feel and what I'm currently choosing to do are not what I want, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I have compassion for myself. I don't have compassion for myself. I'm trying to have compassion for myself. Whether or not right now I can find compassion for myself, I'll hold space for it. Space for myself. Space for my emotions. Space for my thoughts. Space for my beliefs. As I consider all of these angles of how I feel about, I'm not sure I can do this, I wonder, what value does this have? What good does it do me to wonder about what I can do? I don't know. Maybe It feels pretty hopeless to think about, honestly, and that's why I don't much. Maybe it feels frustrating because I'm trying, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Those don't feel valuable. Maybe they're valuable. I don't know what's valuable. I just want a solution. I wonder, what type of solution am I expecting? What have I determined is going to be my line of pass fail? Am I determined that I will come up with a solution on my own? I'm going to find it. I'm going to create it. And that's how it's going to happen? Have I determined that it's got to come from somewhere else? That I'll do my best, but I'm really hoping for the solution to find me worthy, to find me worthy of being chosen, of being seen, of being helped. In what way have I determined the solution for this? My solution. My solution for this issue. This solution. I wonder, is the solution what feels relieving? And is getting there harder? Do I right now believe that in order to find my solution, I have to push and strive and reach and beg and plead and maybe get there? Do I have a belief that my solution is only on the other side of more difficulty? Even if right now what I believe is that my solution is only on the other side of more difficulty, I deeply and completely accept myself. It could make sense that this is my belief. It's something that's really popular in storylines and books and movies and different areas of society. Hard work is really praised as being what makes everything pay off. So it's okay if that's what I've told myself about this solution. And maybe sometimes that is the solution, but I wonder, is it possible that it could be different for this? Is it possible that finding my solution, the road to my solution, also brings me ease? That the road to my solution also feels good, also brings me hope? What if I could recognize the road to my solution because it feels good and because it's empowering? I don't know about that. I don't know about roads that feel good. Pretty sure everything's supposed to be really hard, especially about this. This is a hard situation, and there's no glory in finding an easy way to do it, or in a friendly way, or a calm way. Even if I'm not quite sure what an easy road would look like, I'm open to being surprised by it. I'm open to discovering it. I don't want to believe that the only way for me to get through this is to be overwhelmed. If there is a way for it to be easier, I'm open to being surprised with it. But I wonder, what would that look like? Would it look like one big thing all at once where just all of my problems are immediately evaporated? Probably not. Could it look like me having 10 extra minutes, 10 minutes that I could fix myself something nicer to eat than just grabbing whatever's closest? Could it be 10 extra dollars where I allow myself something that isn't just a straight need that's going to make me feel better? Or not guilting myself for something that is improvement, even if it's not 100%. Maybe it's trusting my effort, even though I don't quite have the result yet. All of these things would require kindness and trust. Trust that it's okay to be kind to myself, that I don't need to punish myself to try and find my solution, and trust that even if I allow myself some comfort, that won't make me lose out on my solution. Maybe that feels good to try. Maybe that feels risky. Even if trying this feels risky, I deeply and completely accept myself. Trying new things is risky, and this is a big deal. So I wonder, how can I make it feel more safe? How can I make it feel more safe to feel good, even during something that's difficult or scary or overwhelming or upsetting? How can I make it feel safe to give myself permission to feel better? Maybe I just put parameters on it. I can choose maybe one day a week where I give myself permission for this just to start out. And if I like it, I can do it more. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just stop. But maybe it's I give myself one day a week. I choose terrific Tuesdays or fantastic Fridays. And on that day, I just have a different focus. And then I can evaluate maybe after a few times, maybe after a month, and see, has that helped me? Has it hindered me? I could do that. Or maybe it's 10 minutes a day, every day, but 10 minutes. Whatever parameters that I need to allow this curiosity, this experiment for my solution to feel safe and to feel doable I give myself permission to have those parameters, even if it's 2 minutes a month, even if that is the absolute most I can allow myself. I give myself permission to allow those 2 minutes a month and to not judge myself for it and to be proud that I'm doing it. It's okay to find things in small increments. And maybe it will lead to a really big solution. And maybe it won't. But maybe it can help me feel better and have more energy, more resilience, more happiness, more relief in the process. So, as I consider my options for a solution, solution, any percentage of a solution for this thing that I'm not sure that I can do, I hold space to feel better. I hold space to be surprised at what these little steps can do. And I allow myself permission to feel better, even if I'm still in something that's difficult. And as I figure this out, I deeply and completely accept myself along the whole journey. Okay, go ahead and pause and take a breath. So, hopefully, from the very beginning of the tap, when you were focusing in on what you're not sure you can do to the end and thinking about it now, feels a little more hopeful. And if it does, it's a really good sign that your brain is already working on how to complete these little micro tasks that really, really do add up. Okay, so let's see. What are we going to do next? Let's go ahead and tap on speaking my truth. I feel like there's this segue in there. So, um, I think I'm going to leave it that vague, but let's talk about real quick a couple of different ways that you could apply that. Uh, Working on speaking your truth, man, there's a lot of levels to that, right? There's a whole can of history that you can break open with that. Um, Speaking your truth could mean to one particular person. It could mean something about yourself that you haven't shared that you want to, maybe with someone that you're close to, that you're wanting to become closer to. It could be a moment of connection that you're looking for, something positive that maybe you're a little hesitant or it feels a little vulnerable to share. It could be something where maybe you're setting a boundary and speaking your truth there can feel difficult. And if you're a people pleaser, it could feel like you're punishing the person or you're being, a jerk just by asking to have a boundary. And so that can make it difficult because you feel like, well, logically I know this is a good thing, but emotionally I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And so that can be difficult. Speaking your truth just in general, just showing yourself to the world, maybe it's speaking a general truth of something that would be very relatable, something that would be political, something that would be personal that other people might have their own opinions on that you just may hear after you voice this truth. And maybe you really want to share it, but it still feels little. It's like, oh, I really want to share this, but it still feels so soft. And I just don't know. Are people going to be mean to it? I don't want it to get hurt. Um, and it can even just mean within yourself, speaking your truth to yourself. And it could be something that saying it out loud would seem so simple, but maybe you have your own history tied to it, uh, where it's tucked away for a reason, right? If there's something that you have a fear or hesitancy in speaking, there's a reason for that, right? Okay, so with all of those categories, pick one thing of where you would like to focus on speaking your truth. I'm going to give you just a second to come up with that. I will continue to use the verbiage of even though I'm not quite sure yet how to speak my truth. You can put it into the phrase, even though right now I'm still not quite sure how to approach this conversation, how to approach this boundary. You can switch my wording to what's specific to being helpful for you. Okay, let's get to tapping. Oh, good. Even though right now I'm uncertain of how to speak my truth, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I have things I want to say and I don't know how to say them, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, as I think about speaking my truth, there are a lot of things in my way. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. My truth, my truth, speaking my truth, voicing my truth, being heard, being received, being rejected, being misunderstood, vulnerable, even though right now I'm not sure how to speak my truth and have a good outcome. I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, what are my parameters for a good outcome? When I think of speaking my truth and what I would like to have happen, what are my expectations? Am I expecting everyone to be happy? Am I expecting to receive support? Am I expecting and hoping to receive the type of response that I have been offering? I wonder, why would that be my parameter? Why would it be only safe if people responded in the way that I have made an effort to respond? A safe response, a safe response in my body, a safe response in my mind, a safe response in my emotions. Do I know what a safe response is? I wonder, what's my definition of a safe response? Maybe I have a connection right now in my brain of a positive response linking to survival. Maybe I'm hoping to be received in such a hugely positive light, not just because that would feel fantastic, but because somewhere I learned that that was safe. I learned that offering that was safe. I learned that being that was safe. So if that's my line of safe, then I would have to find people who would be willing to give me those parameters before I could ever speak my truth. And while, yes, that would be ideal and that would be lovely, is that a parameter that makes sense for me to have? What if the people I'm sharing my truth to won't be that for me? What if they won't be that safe of a place? What if they won't choose that for me? Then what? Do I not get to speak? Do I only get to speak if I choose to be hurt? I wonder, how else can I define this? It's okay if this was my definition of safety, if this was my definition of communication and connection and acceptance and love. At some point in my life, this made a lot of sense. And it was really helpful for me to have this tool and for me to see it this way. But I must be wanting to adjust it because it's not what I'm looking for anymore. I'm looking for something different. for me now. I'm looking for different parameters to speak my truth. But what does that even look like? What does different look like? Different parameters. Different parameters for my truth. Different parameters for my voice. Different parameters to speak up. My voice. My choice. My connection. My process. My perspective. Okay, so if I'm going to change this, I wonder. I know how it would feel if the other person is kind and accepting and open and collaborative. That's easy. But what if they're not? What if I'm pretty sure the other person or people are going to pressure me, they're going to guilt me, they're going to shame me, they're going to bully me, they're going to make fun of me. They're just going to have some sort of reaction that isn't pleasant. I want to express myself. I don't want unpleasantness. So I wonder, what are my options? Is it possible that I can just tell myself, well, I'm going to be tough enough to just take it and I just won't care? Maybe, but maybe I'm not willing to become that either. Maybe that's not what I want. So if that's not my solution, what other choices do I have? Is it possible for me to assess, for me to determine at what level I want to share my truth? Is it possible that speaking my truth and sharing my truth are two different things? Well, if sharing my truth is different than speaking my truth, then who would I be speaking my truth to? Maybe the first place that I can get really good at speaking my truth to is me. Maybe rather than worrying what anybody else thinks first and trying to make it into a situation that's doable, maybe without saying a word, I just let it all out to myself. Am I a safe place for me? Am I a safe place for my own truths? Whether or not I have been a safe place for my own truths in the past. I choose to be now. And maybe I wasn't a safe place out of survival. It's possible. And it's okay. Even if there are things there for me to go back and heal and conversations for me to have with myself, it's okay that this is where I am now. And I choose right now to be a safe place for my own thoughts, for my own feelings, and for my own actions. And if I ever decide to include anyone else in them, great. But I hear me. I show up for me. I confide in me and I validate me. Okay. So when do I know if I want to speak up to other people? When do I know what I want to share or when I'm ready to share? Ready to share my truth, my voice, my thoughts, my feelings, my boundaries. When will I know? I'll know. I've shared things before. It's not like I've never shared anything in my life. And I shared because I knew I was ready and I felt safe enough to. I felt passionate enough to. Maybe I can trust that this will be the same. That as I find a place to speak up to me, to speak up and hear myself, then I can start including other people if I want to. But if I don't, aren't I holding out on myself? Doesn't that mean that I'm not speaking up for myself and I'm being a doormat? Even if part of me feels like if I'm not speaking up every time, I'm failing myself, I release that judgment. Because I'm pretty sure nobody speaks up all the time. I'm pretty sure nobody shares their opinions every single time. So this is new for me, and I'm uncomfortable with it, and I'm uncertain with it, and I don't know yet how much I want to share. But maybe I can release myself of the pressure that it has to be everything and that it has to be all the time. I don't have to prove to anybody else that I have feelings and emotions. That maybe I need to hear my own voice listening. And then I'll decide who else gets to hear it. And if I determine, nope, don't want to get into that, then I will fully support myself in that decision because there can be wisdom in not sharing, just as there's wisdom in sharing. These are a lot of parameters to think about. That's okay. I don't have to figure it all out today. I can start just by holding space for myself and anything that I want to say to myself. It's a good place to start. And when I'm ready to start inviting other people into my truth, I'll know. As I hold space for myself to comfortably figure out when and where to share my truth, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a deep breath. Nicely done. And a lot of times that can be tied to validation as well, where you may have been taught that you needed to be validated outside of yourself in order to be okay, to have permission to exist, to have permission to be worthy, to be included. And unweaving that can also help with feeling comfortable with your own truth and where it sits and who gets to hear it. Um, yeah. So hopefully that's helpful and that's something else that you can look into and tap on. There's one other thing I wanted to cover real fast. Cedric, yes. Prioritizing time, integrating, and focusing on multiple goals. Okay, let's jump into that. And I love that it's prioritizing time because we only got a few minutes left. All right. We'll just start tapping while we're talking. So now think of something really positive. Think of even if something negative pops up with it too. A goal, a dream, multiple goals, multiple dreams. Um, and if you don't have a lot of things that you're trying to accomplish that are outwards like that, maybe in a day, maybe you're like, oh, today is the day I'm going to do the dishes, oh, but I have laundry. Oh, but I need to vacuum. It can be anything that just, there's always more to do than what can get done in a day, right? How do you prioritize that? We have endless possibilities, and that really has become a problem. So how do you prioritize that? Okay. So have that in your mind as I search for a way to achieve multiple goals. I deeply and completely accept myself. As I look for the most efficient way to accomplish my ultimate vision, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I open my mind to new possibilities and ideas and thoughts that I can apply to all that I have going on, I deeply and completely accept myself. I feel gratitude for myself and all of these things that I want to do. I feel excitement for the purpose that I feel, the drive that I have, the passion that exists in me to be able to accomplish who I know I am inside. But I wonder, how do I do that? How do I accomplish things? There are a lot of different methods, there are a lot of different opinions, there's a lot of different books, and maybe they work for me and maybe they don't so much. But how do I know what to really lean into? How do I know what to choose? Choosing my path, choosing my priority, choosing where to place my energy, my time, my thoughts, for my outcome. My outcome. I wonder, am I putting all this pressure on myself to find the right priority because somewhere I believe that that's the only way I'll get my outcome? Is it possible that right now I believe that if I'm going to become who I want to be, who I feel I'm meant to be, I've got to find the right way to do it? And if I don't find that way, then I lose my chance. Even if some part of me believes that I have to find the right way or I lose my chance, I deeply and completely accept myself. It's okay that I feel that. I've been taught that through a lot of different ways. Maybe people in my life, society, media. There's a lot of places I could have picked up this belief, but I wonder, do I want it? Is it serving me? No. So, what belief do I want? What if I want to believe that it's inevitable? That all I have to do is not stop and I get to be who I'm becoming? Well, no, that's too easy. And that's too hard. It's too vague. I can't focus on that. Even if I'm uncertain that that could actually be successful, I hold space for it because I'm curious. What if? What if this does work? I will hold space to think about this a little bit more. Okay, let's say maybe this could work. Maybe it could work to believe in myself, to believe that no matter what goal I focus on, that no matter what time I put where, as long as I'm focusing and as long as I'm putting, that I will receive the outcome. What if I don't have to prove myself? What if what I'm doing right now really is enough? And maybe finding a system for it to feel a little more gratifying or a little more organized would be beneficial. But what if I already believe I've got this? I've got this, and I'm picking up pieces just like I'm supposed to. Because if I was done picking up pieces, I'd be there. This is what the journey is. This is what it's supposed to feel like. And it's okay if I don't have all the pieces yet. I'm learning, and I'm good at learning, and I'm incorporating, and I'm good at incorporating, and I'm growing, and I'm good at growing. So I wonder, what is it that I could give myself to be better supportive? What would I offer to myself that would sound like balance? Am I allowing myself balance? Is it okay for me to have balance? Would balance be quiet time? Maybe giving myself some space to think? Would it be playtime? Giving myself some time to celebrate and just feel being alive? I wonder, what could I allow myself to receive if I wasn't so worried I wouldn't get there? Allowing myself to receive, allowing myself to benefit from the journey, trusting myself, listening to myself, hearing myself, honoring what I hear, even if some part of me says, that's not enough. You got to do more. You got to be quicker, faster, smarter, more intense. Maybe it's okay to let another voice speak louder just for a little bit and see. I can see what happens. My goals, my vision, my truth. As I allow myself this curiosity, the curiosity of balance, the curiosity of trust, the curiosity of allowing other voices to be big in my journey. I give myself permission to pay attention to the outcome and to allow the voice of working harder equals bigger goals to be quieted if I'm seeing that that's not necessarily always the pathway. I choose to trust in myself. I choose to trust in my abilities. And I choose to trust that becoming me is supposed to be exhilarating and fun and enjoyable. So when I find things that are exhilarating and fun and enjoyable, those are, in fact, key parts of my journey. And as I allow those to balance in, maybe I'll get other answers as well. And as I choose into this curiosity, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, take a deep breath. Alrighty. Well, hopefully that was helpful. Um, if there's any follow up you want, feel free to email me. My email's at the top of the chat. It's amanda@eftuniverse.com. I hope the session was helpful for you. I hope you're feeling more grounded and balanced and clear and empowered, thought of and loved. I'm so grateful to have had you here with me this week. Email me questions, suggestions, whatever. If you want it to be something that we're going to tap on next week, give it to me at least 24 hours in advance to make sure that I have time to see it. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time for our tap. See you then. Mwah. Bye.